Howdy. Hope you're all doing well. Um, want to share a story about how how I quit cigarettes and Zyn. Um, First off, I think that Zyn is harder to quit than cigarettes, and the reason why I think so is because you can pretty much do Zyn 24/7. You can do it inside the house, you can do it at work, and nobody really knows. And because of that, you're getting a lot more nicotine into your body, so the withdrawals and the cravings are even stronger, which I really didn't realize until I had tried to quit Zyn. And the reason why I know this is because I've quit cigarettes before as well. So I think I have to start with how I was able to quit, or how I went about quitting cigarettes. So I started smoking cigarettes probably towards the end of high school at parties, and then it lasted until about the end of college when I decided to quit. I was partying a lot, so I was drinking, and it kind of like started from partying, and they went hand in hand. Now, every time I would try to quit cigarettes, it was uh, it was easy to do. Like during the week, it was easier to do during the week when I wasn't drinking. But as soon as I would go to a party and start drinking again, I would not be able to control my cravings when I was drinking, and I would instantly relapse and start smoking again because of drinking and parties, as well as they go hand in hand with your morning coffee. But the way that I was able to quit cigarettes the first time was that I had to quit drinking because I couldn't control myself when I was drinking. So I stopped drinking for a long time, and I quit, and cold turkeyed. The first 3 days are always the hardest when you quit smoking. And then after that, it slowly gets a little bit easier. But what would happen is that I would go to a party even like months later, and I'd start drinking, and then somebody would be smoking a cigarette, and then I would want a cigarette. So I had to actually stop drinking for like, it took about 6 to 8 months before I could drink and then also not have that craving. Um, so it took quite a bit of time when you add in drinking to the mix. So I just think it's easier, basically easier for me to not drink. Now, fast forward to Zyn. So I basically had a friend who was smoking cigarettes, and then I started rolling tobacco, and I was like smoking rolled tobacco for a little bit, just because I was bored, I think, and we didn't really have much else to do at the time. I was on summer vacation, and but one of my biggest fears is getting lung cancer. So I quickly kind of just switched from tobacco to Zyn or nicotine pouches because I figured that it was more healthy than smoking cigarettes. But then I was basically hooked on pouches for like a year. And when I decided to quit, I quickly realized how strong um, of an addiction the pouches are. In my opinion, they're way stronger than uh, they're way stronger than smoking because you can do them all day. Um, but the way that I did quit uh, the nicotine patches was very similar and to the same fashion that I quit cigarettes, in which I personally have to cold turkey. I'll try to start tapering down, but as soon as I start tapering down and I make that decision, I quickly have to go into full on cold turkey and cut it out completely, because for me, if I'm just doing a little bit less, I feel like I'm just kind of teasing myself and it's easier for me to relapse even if I'm trying to go down on it. So I personally have to cold turkey, or else I'm not as successful with quitting that bad habit. Um, so basically, after cold turkeying for about 3 days of just like not feeling good, feeling pretty miserable, for whatever reason, many things align with this 3 day rule where, your first 3 days are the hardest. And after you get those, so just prepare for those first 3 days. Like, I wouldn't quit during the week, during the work week. Like, you need to have like 3 days off so that you can, take naps and struggle through it without having to stress over work or exert yourself in other ways. So I always have to like kind of mentally free up, like, okay, I have some time off. This is the time when I can quit. And then after those 3 days, I feel like each day slowly gets a little bit better and a little bit better. Maybe the first 3 days are like 100% miserable. Then you get to the fourth day and it's like 80% miserable. Then the fifth day is 70%, and then 60, and then just slowly gets better and better. And in my opinion, after a couple weeks, for the most part, you're in the clear. You will get like the cravings from time to time, but you have to just remember how fucked up and miserable quitting was in the first place, and not do it again. Um, if you haven't relapsed before and started picking up that bad habit again, um, it is real, and it's not, each time you do it is just as hard as the time before. Each time you quit is just as hard as the time before. It's totally doable, but you definitely have to try to set yourself up for success and kind of take a stand once you get past, once you've quit, and once you get past it, even if you have a craving because you're around somebody else who has one, whether it's a cigarette or a nicotine pouch, you gotta stay strong and know that it's not worth it. It's an expensive habit. It's not good for your health. I mean, people say that nicotine is good neurologically, but the way that most people use it, we just end up abusing it. So it's, I mean, I personally can't just do it once a day or once every other day just to get a mental boost. I end up going and doing it literally 24/7, so it's not worth it to me. But I don't know. Let me know what your strategies are for quitting nicotine, and what's worked for you in the past. I know for me, I have to straight up cold turkey, and that's done pretty well for me. Although it's definitely not easy, but it's doable and it's worth it. So, all right, guys, I will see you later. Thanks.